What up? Welcome back to the channel. If you're interested in 8 turbo things, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up button, and we're just gonna get right into it. Today, because of our lack of materials and living in Canada land, which is like, we don't have any bald eagles here apparently, we're gonna do stuff that we can do with the parts that we have. So we don't have enough scheduled tubing to build those exhaust runners, but we do have a bunch of aluminum to try and build the charge piping. So these turbos are kind of where they want to be. And we can start building our charge piping for this setup, and I'm going to show you quickly what I have in mind and if it makes sense to you guys, because it kind of makes sense to me. So obviously we have 4 turbos on this side, 4 turbos on the other side that we have to join up. And here's my plan. I want to take a piece of 3-inch pipe, because 3 inch is definitely going to flow enough for these 4 turbos. We could probably get away with 2.5, but I think 3 inch is going to be better because we have to transition to 4 inch over there. So I'm going to put this piece of straight pipe here. I did order a couple of 2-inch to 3-inch 90s, so the back turbo will actually have a silicone coupler 90 into it. And then right past that, we have some 2-inch pipe here, and we'll just kind of log manifold the rest of these pipes into this pipe. And then once that portion is done, we can build over to the other side, and then the other side is going to have another log that goes down and into the intercooler. So it's going to start on this 90 back here, it's going to go run along this whole thing. It's going to come across the front here. It's going to join up here, and then we can do another log that goes from this straight down and then into here. This is our air-to-water intercooler. This is our 4-inch. The only thing is this runner is kind of in the way, so we might just have to do 3-inch into a 4-inch V-band and make some sort of sheet metal template there that we can drill into to offset it just a tiny bit. Now, we cut out a little piece of pipe. This is going to be our charge pipe from the turbo. This is going to be our main pipe. We need to put a straight line in this thing. So we need to make a straight line. And in theory this should work. I haven't put much thought into it, but put a piece of angle iron on the pipe should give us a straight line across the pipe. Perfect. And because I don't have a tubing notcher that's going to hold a 3-inch pipe, we got to do this by hand, unfortunately. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to drill the 2-inch hole here. This is actually going to sit inside the 2-inch hole. We should be able to bevel it to match and then weld it pretty easily, I guess. We just have to get straight down holes into this piece of pipe. Now I figured I probably should try and do this in the drill press to give me the best chance of getting a straight down hole. So wish me luck, I guess. Oh, it still won't fit. And I was going to buy myself a 4-inch bench vise today, but it wasn't on sale. Oh my lordy, does that ever fit nicely. Okay, let's make a couple more, I guess. Alright, this is kind of what we're working with here. These are going to go to each one of those, and then the last one obviously going to have that 2 to 3-inch 90 on the back of it. So we should probably get the heights we need for these, trim them all up, clean it all up, get some tack welds on there, see if it's going to fit right. And yeah, this is essentially what my plan was. It's not the most efficient thing in the world, but it's going to work. This is why we have to trim them. They're sticking through right now. I made them extra long just so we'd have the opportunity to trim them. Now we've got a bevel in most of these. I left a little bit of meat on it, so it might be protruding a little bit inside the pipe, but that's why we went with 3-inch pipe instead of 2.5, is we could allow for a little hindrance here. I'm just gonna get all the burrs out of it so we don't put that in our charge piping. And now we're going to put it all together and get it welded up. Time lapse, go!
And I ran away out of all this gray. I just went out. I tried to escape this crazy life, but it just wasn't the right fight. You were right. I feel love from far away. Just tell me where you wanna stay. I'll show you all my devotion. I feel love from far away. Just tell me where you wanna stay. I'll show you all my devotion.
There we go. It's welded. Not the prettiest welds, but they're definitely going to hold. I haven't had much aluminum practice in a little bit here, so it's kind of expected. We will bead roll the ends here, and then our 2-inch pieces should just slip right over that. We should have plenty of room to clamp it. Some hose clamps there. Now I don't want to grab it because aluminum holds its heat like really good, and you'll notice that sometimes I won't have fingerprints, and that's because I grabbed aluminum. So we're going to wait a little bit before we put it on the car, obviously. Let's just take a second and talk about this video sponsor. This video is proudly sponsored by Legacy Auto Group. With 8 locations across Alberta and BC, Legacy Auto Group has a huge selection of new and used vehicles. With an amazing website that features a huge inventory of cars, you can find anything you want with a few clicks. Also, they are now operating a trade-in calculator service, so you can see what your vehicle is worth without ever speaking to a salesman. If you're much like me and you don't like leaving the house, this is a great tool just to see what ballpark you're playing in. So if you're in Western Canada and looking for a vehicle, make sure to check out Legacy Auto Group. They're a huge supporter of the channel. I personally bought my 2 vehicles from Legacy Auto, my truck and my Hellcat, and I'll buy my future ones from there. This is our piece. It's just going to sit somewhere in that area. It's probably going to float half an inch away from the outlets. That back one, we're going to have to move the catch can a little bit just to put that 90 degree on the back one there. If I would have did this again, I probably would have just butted it up there and just capped off the end of this pipe, but whatever. We'll do it like this, which means this is going to sit here. We have to build another one almost identical to that on the other side, but then we're just going to come 90 here, 90 here, and then it's going to run through this row and then down into there. I thought about coming forward with this one too, this way, and then join them both up and go down here and across here and in that way, but if we can get it to line up where it just joins in all these and goes straight into there, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Alrighty, now that we have this one made, we're just going to put that off to the side because we don't actually have any couplers for it. So we'll begin making our second one for the other side. We're not going to join them up yet. We're going to wait until we have couplers on them. That way they're going to sit exactly where they want to sit, and then we can join them up. But we can start by making this one, but this one we're going to use all 4. It's going to go a little something like that, probably, where you can get all 4 into one. And we're going to do that because we'll just weld straight to the end with the bend and then weld straight to the end down into that at the same time. And we're not going to have to run like one into the back of the pipe because it's all going to come from that side. When I did my initial drawing, I know that the turbos were 5 1/8 distance apart from bolt to bolt, which means the outlets are 5 1/8 distance bolt to bolt. So we punched it out here, 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 and here, and then they measure out across the whole thing, like 5 1/8 to here, 10 1/4, and then 15 3/8. So I just got to drill those out now, cut 4 pieces of pipe, and we should be able to do the same thing with this pipe. Here is pipe number 2 mocked up. We marked out where we're going to have to pull these pipes out to bevel them, because if we leave them like that, they're hindering flow just a little tiny bit on the end here. But 1 is going to be the edge closest to the front. We're actually going to angle the turbos like 5 degrees. But yeah, so it's going to go something like this. It follows the level of the turbos, and then the crossover is just going to come 90 off that one, 90 off that one. They're going to join together, and then obviously you can see we needed a little bit extra room here because we have to make that tight little S bend going into our air to water. All our pieces are made here. Here's our settings, right around 100 amps, right around like 96. AC, no pulse, anything funky like that. Here's our AC balance and stuff. Pretty high frequency, a little bit of balance. Well, there it is. I don't know what gunk we got on here. I think it might be my gloves that are melting. They're just regular mechanic gloves because I don't know where I put my TIG welding gloves. So I think we got some gunk on there, which is kind of a shame, but it came out all right. Not my best welds, but they will definitely hold. So according to my camera, the time lapse was like 29.5 minutes or something stupid like that. And then whatever time it took to fabricate this and think it up, so we're like 2.5, 3 hours into this project, just this one little log right here. Whereas if I just vlogged all day, I would have had like a 45-minute video already. Whereas what I just did took 3 hours and we got 59 seconds of footage. So you better appreciate it. You better be subscribed or I'm gonna be flatten you, man.
Kyle's such a professional.
So this is what it's gonna look like. They obviously need to be tweaked a little bit because there's like not all the bolts are in the turbos either, so they shift a little bit back and forth. And they need to be angled correctly as well. But you can see that the boots are just gonna slip over these, like the 2-inch couplers. It's gonna work out fine. And then we're gonna go from here down into there. And we're gonna cross over from here into here. And then the back one is actually gonna get a 90-degree into here. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. I might end up cutting this here, put like a reducer, and then up to this. I don't know, because the catch can is in a good spot. But that's essentially what it's gonna be like. We do have some bends here, but I'm not gonna do the bends first until we can actually get all our boots on and tight, and then I'm gonna put the bends on so we don't mess anything up. One looks like it's sitting a little bit higher than the other, but that just might be the way the manifold is here. Yeah, I think it's just the way the bend is higher in that manifold than it is in this one. It just makes it look higher than the other one. We got our super wicked awesome order from Black Sheep Industries. 8 2.5-inch V-band clamps. And then we got the 1 4-inch V-band clamp for the firewall. And what we'll be doing is we're gonna weld this to the end of the housings here. That way we can rotate our pipes whatever way we want when we put our pipes on. So we've got to remove all 8 of these turbos and we'll have 8 V-band flanges on now. Black Sheep Industries Inc. And right here on the screen, these are Black Friday deals for Black Sheep Industries. Make sure you go check it out. The link's down in my bio and get them before they're sold out because there's limited supplies. Well, we'll get a little production line set up here. We've got all 8 of our turbos, all 8 of our flanges, and then once these are welded to the turbo, we actually have to weld one of these pieces onto the side, or into each flange, and then we actually have to cut a straight piece to go on the end of each one of these to be a determined length still, but yeah, we got a little bit of welding ahead of us. Honestly, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tack weld everything in place, and then I can do all the welding off camera because I'll just sit down for a couple hours one day and weld it. And same thing with the manifolds here. We still have to build 2 more runners, but this is gonna be like a full day welding too. It's gonna be a couple $100 in argon plus welding. It's gonna be a fun time. The worst part about building an 8-turbo vehicle is that you actually have to do everything 8 times. Oh well, it's part of the fun and games, I guess. production line worker. All of our turbos have V-bands on them now, and what we need to do is put the 90 degrees into the other half of the V-band. We'll mock it up in the car, and then we'll get the lengths for the end of the 90 degrees. Probably like 6 to 8 inches, somewhere in that range. Now it's time for our hater pipes. Oh yeah. Turbos still move a little tiny bit, but that's okay. I don't want to put too many on because we still have to put another piece on them. I guess I'll put them all on, whatever. I'll do it for you guys. I'll put them all on. Some of them are a bit higher than the others because they didn't sit completely properly in the V-band clamps. What? It's gonna look okay, I think. Look at that. That thing's amazing. Where's our piece of pipe? So now imagine. Oh yeah, just like that. Just like that, baby. Like another 6 or 8 inches on that. You know what? Let's just make them as long as we can. So this is 36, 36, and this one is 23, so we can make 11 inches. 11, 11, 11 is 33. 11, 11 is 22. All right, 11 inches it is. We're going crazy. Let's do it. I don't even care. Over to the bandsaw. Let's just cut one at 11 inches and see what it looks like first. I already know it's going to be awesome. This piece has been a lifesaver so far. That's a big pipe. Look at it. Let's put it on. Oh, yes. You know what? We're going to leave it like that. And if it's too long, then we'll just cut it afterwards. We weld it because we can always cut material out, but we can't add it back. Well, we can because we have a welder. But I'm going to do it this way because why not? There we go. We might be a little bit crazy, but that's whatever. You can see that they're kind of like, they're not perfectly straight on the top. They're a bit waved. Half of that's due to the turbos not being mounted fully, and then half it's because these things don't seat all the way in the V-band to the bottom because they're curved. So what we can do, because they're only tack welded on there, we can grind down the tacks afterwards. We could build a jig to hold all our pipes in place on the top and then tack weld them on the bottom. That way they're going to be straight. The only thing is then you have to mark them for each cylinder that they're going to go on, and then every time you take the turbos off, they're going to be a little bit wonky anyways, just because there's a little bit of play in each turbo. See that? But that's kind of our hater pipes there. They're almost as high as the hood is. Oh shit, we're silly. I love it. So what I'm going to do is put the charge pipe back on now, and then I can take some photos. But I think that's where we're going to leave you with this episode. I only have until like noon, I think. What time is it now? Yeah, it's 12:15 because Virginia was going to come out here and make some OnlyFans content with the car. I'm kind of excited because once she's done with the car, then we can come out here and do the thing with the bird and stuff. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. That link's actually the first one down below. Shameless plug because she helped sponsor the race car. But peace easy and get that V. Make sure you subscribe.
What do you mean what the?
You're going out the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. Peace, bros.